For centuries, the university has been this bedrock institution, right? A pillar of society. But right now, it's getting hit by three massive forces all at once, a kind of triple squeeze that's making us question its entire purpose. And it all kicks off with the story of a student who, well, seemed to have it all figured out.
So, meet Jake Komnikar. The last time this guy saw anything but an A on his report card was in third grade art. Now, he's a freshman at Harvard. History is basically the definition of academic success. It's what the whole university experience is supposed to be about. But what if that whole idea of success is built on something a little shaky?
And here it is. This is the question that just changes everything. When a machine, an AI, can spit out an A-grade paper in seconds, what's that A actually worth? This one question ties everything together. Our star student, the grade on his paper, and this massive technological wave that's hitting us all.
Okay, so to understand the first pressure point, we've actually got to look outside the university. The entire world is literally writing a new rulebook for AI, and that's creating what we're calling the external squeeze on higher ed.
Think of this new rulebook for AI as a double-edged sword. On one side, you have all the technical stuff, the standards that let different AIs talk to each other and work together. But on the other side, you've got the ethical and privacy standards, basically the guardrails trying to keep AI from going off the rails and causing harm.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. These two sets of rules have the complete opposite effect on money. The technical rules, they actually encourage companies to invest more. It creates a stable playing field. But the ethical and privacy rules, all those extra costs and hurdles, can actually scare investment away.
And bam, that's where the pressure lands, right on the university's doorstep. Students coming out of school today have to walk into this world and be fluent in both sides of AI, how to build it and how to critique it. It's not optional anymore, it's just a requirement for the job market. And it's forcing a total rethink of what gets taught.
So all that pressure from the outside world, it's creating some serious cracks inside the university, which brings us to our second point, the internal squeeze. On one side of this split, you have the university's leadership, the administrators. And get this, a whopping 86% of them see AI as a huge opportunity. They are all in, ready to go. But what about the people actually teaching the classes? Well, here's the other side of that coin. The faculty, they feel very, very differently. 72% of them see AI as a threat. I mean, that's not just a small disagreement. That's a massive gulf. It shows this deep conflict right at the heart of the university.
And this quote, wow, it just cuts right to the core of why the faculty is so anxious. This isn't just about students cheating. It's an existential thing. When a machine can do the very thing you're an expert in, you start to ask yourself, what am I even here for?
So there it is. That's the internal squeeze in a nutshell. You have two groups looking at the exact same technology and seeing completely different things. The administration sees a shiny new tool for efficiency. The faculty sees a fundamental threat to their identity and their whole reason for being. And this leads us to the third pressure point, which honestly might be the most damaging of all, the foundational squeeze. Because this whole AI crisis didn't just appear out of nowhere. It slammed into a system where the very definition of an A was already starting to feel, well, a little meaningless.
Let's circle back to Harvard for a second. This chart tells a story that's been building for years and years. I mean, just look at that line for A grades. It's just a relentless climb upwards. It really makes you wonder, what does getting an A even mean now?
And here's the payoff for that trend. Today, 60%, the majority, of all grades handed out at Harvard College are A's. An A is no longer the mark of something exceptional. It's just the new normal.
So are students just getting way smarter? Are they working harder? Well, the data says, not really. While grades have been shooting to the moon, the amount of time students actually spend studying has been flat. It's barely moved in almost 20 years.
Harvard professor Steven Pinker hits the nail on the head. He calls it a race to the bottom. It's a systems problem. Everybody, students, professors, departments, has a reason to keep the grades high. Because if you're the one tough grader in a sea of easy A's, you're just hurting your students. So the cycle just keeps going.
So, okay. We've got this perfect storm, right? External pressure from global rules, internal fighting over what AI means, and a shaky foundation of grade inflation. So the big question is, what are universities actually doing about it? What does the path forward even look like? Well, it depends on where you look, but in some areas, the change is happening at lightning speed.
Take finance. Right now, in the next few years, they're scrambling to add new AI courses and teach new skills. But long-term, the vision is way more dramatic. Weaker finance programs might just die out, while the strong ones will basically rebrand themselves as Finance Plus AI or Finance Plus FinTech. It's adapt or disappear. The real battleground here is assessment. How do you grade students? Pretty much everyone, 96% of people, agree the old ways are broken. But the reality is, only about half of the faculty have actually changed how they do things. The big shift is moving away from the final essay or test and focusing more on the process of learning. We're talking more oral exams, more in-class debates, student presentations, even making things like videos. It's about evaluating the human, not just the output.
And all of this, all three of these squeezes, they all lead us to this one final, really tough question. In a world where AI can do high-level work and generate knowledge on demand, what is the point of a university degree? Why spend 4 years and all that money? Answering that question is probably the single biggest challenge higher education has ever faced.